Hi guys, and welcome to Strength Universe. From his first appearance at the World's Strongest Man until his third and final title in 1982, it's fair to say that Bill Kazmaier was the most dominant strongman of that era. Such was his dominance that he wasn't invited back to defend his title in 1983. Instead, the organisers brought in the young Icelandic powerlifter and bodybuilder Paul Sigmarsson, who would go on to arguably become even more successful. Kazmaier returned to the sport in 1987 and thus started one of the greatest rivalries of that era.
I had just made a comeback last year.
So Paul Sigmarsson, he's not here this year, is he?
Well, I believe he was invited.
He was indeed.
I've actually beaten him twice now in the last 8 months, 2 major competitions. So now I think I'm back in good form. I believe I'm the strongest man in the history of the world.
During the peaks of their career, Sigmarsson stood 6 foot 3 inches tall and weighed 133 kilograms, while Kazmaier was as slightly shorter, 6 foot 2 inches, and tipped the scales at 148. While both men competed extensively in powerlifting, Sigmarsson achieved his best results as a junior lifter 2 weight classes lower than Kazmaier. So, to keep the comparison as fair as possible, we will instead look at the athlete's personal records achieved in training, exhibitions and competitions, starting with the squat. It was during an exhibition that Sigmarsson hit a best of 390 kilograms, but that's succeeded by Kazmaier, who in training did 408 kilograms for 3 repetitions, and thus Kazmaier takes the victory by squatting a 4.6% heavier weight for triple the reps. Following the squat is the raw bench press, a lift in which Sigmarsson hit a best of 235 kilograms, but that doesn't come close to Kazmaier, who in training reportedly pressed 306 kilograms. Kaz takes another victory by pressing a 30% heavier weight. At a pull-only competition in late 1981, Kazmaier achieved a new all-time world record in a raw deadlift with a pull of 402 kilograms. Sigmarsson came mighty close to matching Kazmaier when, at an exhibition in 1986, he pulled 400 kilograms raw, a result that gives Kaz a marginal win by pulling a 0.5% heavier weight. In the clean and jerk, Sigmarsson had a best recorded lift of 187 kilograms, but that falls far short of Kazmaier, who reportedly pressed 225 kilos, and thus takes his 4th consecutive win by pressing a 20% heavier weight. Finally, for this section of the video, we come to the strongman deadlift, in which Kazmaier set an unofficial world record at the 1981 Lagos Highland Games, with a lift of 415 kilograms. But that's not enough to beat Sigmarsson, who was reported to have pulled 427.5 during training in 1987. And thus Sigmarsson takes his first win of the comparison by pulling a 3% heavier weight. Finally, we compare the athlete's best results in strongman competition, starting with the log press, for which Kazmaier achieved a new world record at the 1988 World's Strongest Man, where he pressed a 170 kilogram log, a number that Sigmarsson wasn't able to match, achieving his best of 163 at the 1987 Pure Strength competition, and thus Kaz takes another win by pressing a 4.3% heavier weight. In the 18-inch deadlift, Kazmaier set a joint world record at the 1982 World's Strongest Man with a pull of 478.5 kilograms, that was bettered by Sigmarsson at the following year's competition, when he pulled 525. While Sigmarsson takes a comfortable win, it should be noted that the equipment used in 1983 created far more flex in the bar, technically meaning that the weight was pulled from a higher position, thus making these lifts largely incomparable. The athletes were incredibly closely matched in the 56-pound weight over bar, with Sigmarsson achieving a former world record of 17 feet 3 inches, that minutes later was bettered by Kazmaier, who threw 17 feet 6 inches. Thus, Kaz takes the win by achieving a 1.4% greater throw. In terms of the athlete's strongman results in head-to-head competition, they've only competed against one another a total of 7 times, However, the 1989 World's Strongest Man is discounted due to Kazmaier suffering a sprained ankle early on in that competition. Overall, the results indicate that Sigmarsson was the better strongman competitor after he outscored Kazmaier in 4 out of the 6 competitions. Although it should be noted that by this stage of his career, having suffered numerous serious injuries including a pec tear, tricep rupture and multiple quad and shoulder injuries, Kazmaier was many years past his peak. With that in mind, please let me know who you think was the stronger athlete and the better strongman competitor. That's it for the video, but thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please help to support my channel by hitting like, sharing the video, leaving a comment and subscribing for more. Thank you.